All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin. All right, we are back again on the other side of the coin, ladies and gentlemen. What a weekend for us. What a weekend to be Chelsea fans. Still on top of the Premier League and probably the best performance of the season, in my opinion, against Leicester away from home. Absolutely dominated them from start to end, boxed them in. I don't remember, honestly, any big chances from them. They had some long range shots. There was probably one chance in the first half where Rudiger came in and intercepted that cross from Vardy. But besides that, it was an amazing performance. And obviously, we'll talk about that. And we'll definitely talk about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer being, I mean, it's not official yet, but it is done and dusted. Everyone's been talking about this. So we'll definitely touch on that. And the fact that Thomas Tuchel did not get that opportunity to slap him next week. Every cat, dog out there has got that opportunity to rip into Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Even Claudio Ranieri, who just literally just came into Watford like a couple of days ago, even he's had the liberty to smash Ole Gunnar. So we'll definitely talk about that, and that's probably where we will start. But before we do all of that, live chat, thank you so much for the support all the time you guys show this particular channel. Yesterday we hit 10k views for the watch along, so thank you so much for the support you guys have been providing. Ishan and I are absolutely ecstatic about that, and I think we hit about 150 likes, which is also a new record for a watch along. Generally we go about 50 likes. 150 likes was amazing to get that. Thank you so much that you guys have been enjoying the watch along. And I'm going to give you guys a shout out very soon. But before all of that, Amir, my boy, how you doing?
Yep, I'm pretty good. And it's like just as we started the stream, the official statement has come out that Ole Gunnar Solskjær is sacked. Yeah, if you bring out Manchester United's official Twitter, yeah. So
is it in the Man United Twitter?
Yep, it is.
Wow. What timing, huh?
Exactly. It's literally like 2 minutes ago is when they've confirmed it. So right about when we started the stream.
That's incredible. Let me just bring this up. This is something special. All right. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Ole Gunnar is gone. Manchester United can confirm that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has left his role as manager. Thank you for everything, Ole. I mean, wow. Let's get straight into this. I mean, what a mess this club is in. And I can't believe they waited for the Watford game. Like, they had 2 weeks of international break. I mean, what were they thinking? Straight after that Manchester City loss, like, surely that should have been enough. In fact, the Liverpool game should have been enough, if anything. But the City game was such a humbling. Then they waited for 2 weeks where these guys actually went away for a holiday. What was the thought process, Amir, that he was going to come back and they were going to get a win against Watford and he's going to move on? Like, I mean, surely they should have thought he's not a long-term prospect, right?
Yeah, they should have. I think it shows a lack of, clarity and lack of decision making at the Man United board, and I think that's what the fans usually do aim at, right? Every time they do go out on the protest and stuff. But I think, I was just reading the statement right now, and it says that Michael Carrick will now take charge for the team for the forthcoming games, while the club looks to appoint an interim manager. So
I love it. Michael Carrick's going to get a whooping.
I mean, yeah, as much as we would have liked to give a whooping to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I don't think we can complain if Michael Carrick's in the dugout when we face them, really. So, it once again shows poor planning, right? And that's what actually Spurs capitalized on. As much hate as Daniel Levy does get, I think he made the right decision of getting rid of Nuno Espirito Santo at the right time when Conte was still available, right? I mean, that was phenomenal.
Tottenham's the winner out of all of this, right?
They're exactly. They are. And I mean, them losing at home turned out to be such a massive blessing in disguise for them in that Spurs versus Man United game. And now United don't have any available managers per se. I know they keep getting linked to Brendan Rodgers, who actually, ideally, I think that would make the most sense because Leicester aren't in a good position right now. It looks like Rodgers is
But
possibly.
you know what? I'd be happy to face him next week again and just pump him one more time.
That would be ridiculous, wouldn't it? But yeah, I think Brendan Rodgers, I think, has possibly taken, he's extracted as much as he can out of that Leicester side. So I think it's time for him to move on now. But I think, yeah, they keep getting linked to Zidane, but Zidane, I can't see that happening personally.
Why would Zidane come to this club now? I mean, I know it's lucrative, but
Yeah.
let's be honest, Amir. Let's actually talk about this in detail a little bit.
Sure.
This Man United team, even though they've now sacked Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, the way they got ripped apart by Watford, I watched that game. Watford was all over them. Man United looked so poor. Watford looked physical. They looked like they were going to abuse Man United at every opportunity. They were going to literally abuse them at every opportunity. And that's exactly what they did. I mean, surely, even if they find a new manager, like I know at the moment, as you said, the interim is Michael Carrick and Fletcher and all of that. Even if they do find a new manager, I just can't see this team just bounce back immediately. Like, there's a lot of fundamental issues with this team, and the players are scarred, Amir. I've been looking at their interviews post-match. David De Gea is like, I'm embarrassed.
It looked like he cried, man, honestly.
He was going to cry. He was. Like, do you think a new manager just changes things like that for them?
I mean, actually, no. And this is the part where it gets tricky, right? I mean, they have to make a high-profile appointment because they're Man United for a reason, and always they're always going to look at marketability over actual results of the pitch. I think that's how the football club is run, unfortunately for them right now. So I think they're going to want to get a big name in no matter what. And they just have to give him the time and patience that they gave Ole, really, because the new manager is going to have to come in. He's going to have to take a look at the squad. He's going to have to mend the squad. He's going to, he's going to have to get everyone back together, and he's got to make them one cohesive unit. He's got to change the coaching up from scratch one, because honestly, I don't know what they train, what they used to do under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because it
vibes,
looked like
bro. It's just vibes. Just go out there and express yourself. Express yourself.
They had no structure whatsoever, and individual brilliance has been, bailing Ole out all season. In fact, last season as well. So, I called it a couple of years back. I always maintained my stance that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was brought in as an interim manager, and he should have left as an interim manager. That would have been the best deal for our parties. But
yeah,
United decided to stick around with him, and that iconic Rio Ferdinand interview as well.
Yeah. Give them everything.
So I think it's unfortunate how it's all panned out for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, really. I mean, I actually felt bad for him in a way, because he was out of his depth and everyone knew that, and he was still trying his best to get out of it and make things work. But I think it reached a point where he couldn't, right? And I think that, especially
do you know what?
Pressure,
this is the big difference of our ownership and their ownership. We saw straight away that for Lampard, this was a bit out of his depth for the time being. I mean, we've got massive ambitions, we've got high caliber profile players, and he was just not getting the results that we are seeing now under Thomas Tuchel. And it should have been like that, to be honest. But our board just said, look, thank you for your services, for what you've done, but this is a little bit out of your level at the moment. You just need to go out and develop yourself. I don't understand why Man United just kept pursuing with him. I mean, it was so evident for all of us, and we're not even Man United fans, that this man is just out of his depth. Like, it was a joke for him to be surrounded in and around Klopp, Pep, Tuchel, and even all the other managers, David Moyes, and so on and so forth. Like, it was just a bit of a joke that, my man, you need to be like championship level. Like, and this is not a slander towards it. You need to learn a lot of stuff in football. Football has developed into a different kind of proposition now. It wasn't like how Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was back then under Sir Alex Ferguson. And I don't know if you've seen this, Amir, and I've loved this particular video, which was not that long ago by Rio Ferdinand and his channel 5 with 5. They had Vincent Company. I'm not sure if you guys saw it. And ladies and gentlemen, we've got nearly 40 people live. first of all, smash the like button. Secondly, if you do get the opportunity to see Vibe with Five, the Vincent Company show, please check it out. I mean, Vincent Company lays it out so nicely. He said, the difference between management now and managing way back then is that players now need a why. They need to understand the instructions you're giving to them. Why am I doing that? That it wasn't as if the days of back then when you had the likes of Lampard and Gerrard and all those people playing back then. They just listened to the gaffer and they carried it out. The lads these days, it's not the same culture anymore. It's different. You need to sit down, explain to them tactics, make them understand. It's not just about vibes. It's not just about go out there and express yourself, because they don't know that. They don't understand that. So, Amir, like, are you somewhat surprised that how'd you stay with this manager for so long? This is strange.
Yeah, I mean, in his defense, right, he was out of his depth. Yep, agreed, guaranteed. But I think there was a bit of steady progress over the years, right? I mean, although you can say that it's because other teams faltered. Yes, I mean, last season, if Liverpool hadn't lost Van Dijk to that injury, then they would have definitely been up there. And
a lot
United
of individual brilliance as well. I mean, a lot of individual brilliance.
A lot of individual brilliance, and then Lampard, Chelsea basically. Not the season didn't go according to plan for them, so I think there were a lot of variables, which is why United did finish second. But technically, you could see some sort of progress, right? I think, which is why the board said, he is out of his depth, yes, but there is some sort of progress at least. And I mean, he's been the most stable manager ever since Sir Alex Ferguson left, right? So I think the board decided to give him the benefit of the doubt there. But I think there comes a point where you've got to start expecting trophies, and you've got to start showing some real, development on the pitch, and it just wasn't happening. And if anything, they look worse now than they did a couple of seasons back. So I think
pathetic, man. They look pathetic. Amir, next weekend we got Man United. I was praying that this man stayed for one more week. I was literally just trolling Man United fans. Gary Neville came up with a tweet yesterday. So, you know what? I just want to. I need to show this to you guys. I was just being a mad troll yesterday, and let me see if I can find this. Come on. This was so funny. Gary Neville obviously tweeted something out, and I was saying, yeah, Gary, he should stick around still.
I think he said something like, what's going on at Man United or something, right? I remember him tweeting about Salford City as well. He said, nice win, Salford City.
I just found it. Okay. So Gary Neville tweeted, shocker for United, right? And then I commented, I think we need to be patient with Ole. No need for these reactionary decisions to be made off the back of this loss. I'm completely with you, Gary, that Ole deserves time. He's a club legend after all. And then off the back of this, so many people wish all this club legend shite would stop. Good striker who scored a few goals, mostly as a sub, da-di-da-di-da. And then I was just messing around. I was just messing around. What did I say? And then some other people were saying, don't think it's a loss. Have you not been watching them? Some of them actually took me seriously. Absolutely. Need an extension of his contract. Legend as per, obviously don't make good managers. And then this guy was saying, club legend, don't make me laugh. He was a super sub at best, didn't make the first team most weeks, dreamers. And I said, I don't give a damn about Ole, man, because this was when he finally got sacked. I don't give a damn about Ole, man. Man, he's now sacked. He was the worst manager in Premier League history. I started off backing him, and then I quickly turned around. But, I mean, Amir, all jokes aside, should we be worried at all? Like, now that Ole is gone, could there be a bounce in the Man United team? I personally don't think so. I feel like we should still go out there and well, it's at home. We should still pump them and absolutely ruin them. I don't know how they fix all facets of their game just in 1 week. But are you somewhat weary at all, Amir, next weekend?
I mean, every time an interim manager does come in, I think the first thing he does is tightens up the defense, right? I mean, that's what I remember this distinctly. I think it was Duncan Ferguson at Everton, right? I think
Holy.
Barker Silva got sacked, and then the next game, brings back
Oh,
memories,
bad
man.
days, man, bad days.
Which is why I think that's the first thing that I think it says Michael Carrick, although I know the reports also say Darren Fletcher, but the Man
Yeah.
United statement actually just said that Michael Carrick would be the man in charge. And
Do you think
yeah,
much would change? I mean, there's still
no,
the residual sort of value left behind from Ole days, Michael Carrick and Fletcher. Do you think much would change out of that?
no, I don't think so, honestly, because Michael Carrick and Dan Fletcher have learned what they have about coaching from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer himself, right? It's not like they
Yeah.
were elsewhere at another club to gain experience or something. So it's not like back when Steve Holland was with us, or when, for example, when Hans Dieter Flick became the manager
Yeah.
of Bayern when Niko Kovac got sacked. So it's not such a situation, right? These guys, it's not like they've been around the club way before him to learn the trade of all the other managers. They've learned whatever they have about management and coaching more or less from Ole himself. So I don't know if there will be too much of a change. But I think, Ole, I mean, he would have definitely asked his players, especially the Watford game, to sort of go out and still push on, right? Even after Harry Maguire got sent off, I think it was just 2-1 at that point. So I think he would have, said, you know what, I know that we're trailing, but I think we can easily win this game. So don't, sit back just because we're down to 10 men. Still go out there and push and try to get a point out of it. So I think that being said, the game was slightly, probably because of that they. I mean, ideally they should have lost that by that margin anyway. Watford missed some absolute sitters, but you get what I'm saying. So I think that the first things first, Michael Carrick is going to shut up shop. I think he's going to play with extremely defensive football. But
Do you reckon it's going to be a low block? Like they will
it
apply,
is.
like what they tried to do with City, sit deep as possible. No coordination from midfield to defense to strike. I mean, Ronaldo, as much as of a superstar he is, and I love him. Everyone knows I'm a bit of a Ronaldo fanboy, but he's a detriment to that team, man. He's a detriment to any team these days because you're not going to get that work rate from him up front. Yeah, you're going to get goals, which is fantastic, but if you're not going to get the work rate from him, you need your other 10 players to absolutely play out of their skin week in, week out. I mean, Amir, I know it's still next weekend. We still have the Juve game coming up. So obviously it's not probably right to talk about it. But I'm just thinking they're just a bit disadvantaged with probably Ronaldo up front. And if you're expecting them to sit deep, it's not like he's kind of blitz past all of our players with his pace. He doesn't have immense pace. So what's your outlook on that match? I mean, do you think we should be able to, slice them open?
We should. I mean, they've got Harry Maguire suspended for this game, so I think it's advantage to them.
That's advantage to them.
It is. But the only issue I have with that is that Eric Bailly will come back, and that guy always loves playing against Chelsea for some reason. I remember he doesn't play the entire season. He plays like 4 games, and all of them he drops absolute classics against Chelsea. So I absolutely hate him for that. But he is once again going to inevitably play against us, it seems, next week. But I think, they're going to shut up shop, but we should be able to slice them open. I think, the thing is that even to shut up shop, you need to have capable defensive midfielders, and I don't know if they've got that right at the moment. I think that's one glaring mistake. I think Matic made a lot of errors yesterday. He's clearly showing his age.
Bro,
and then
he's slow. He's now so slow. We will literally run rings around him now. Like seriously.
Exactly. And you've got McTominay, who's decent player, but once again, not phenomenal or world class or anything. And Fred has just been awful this season. So I think they haven't got that defensive midfield cover either. So I think they've got a lot of attackers, but it's going to be a challenge to get those attackers to defend as well. So it's going to be interesting. But like you said, I think the squad is just so imbalanced at the moment, and I think the dressing room is going to be absolutely ripped apart because we still know that there were some players who wanted Ole to stay and didn't want him to go, right? You could see Bruno Fernandes.
What?
Yeah, you could see Bruno Fernandes after the post-match. He went around saying, don't blame the manager, blame the group of players and stuff. Have you not seen that video?
I've not seen it. Please link me later on. Put me in the DM.
Yeah, but
Bruno, what smoke is he smoking, man? I mean, wow.
But yeah, I think I'm pretty sure the dressing room's going to be ripped into shreds. So I think I think the way Harry Maguire actually left the pitch was also concerning. He threw his captain's armband away after he got sent off for his own mistake. So I think that wouldn't have gone well
how come
either.
he didn't do this when he got and do these ones? I mean, here's another. That was so idiotic by him,
Yeah,
what he did
yeah,
against Albania. And I knew this was coming. I knew that, like, the way he celebrated to shush up his fans, man. And let's be honest, I know a lot of people are saying, oh, how do you know what he was trying to, what message was he trying? We all know what message he was trying to give. He was trying to give message to Man United. And look what he does. Very first game back in the, club level, gets himself a red card. I mean, pathetic. Honestly, I've never rated him. But as you said, Amir, it's advantage Man United not having Harry Maguire, perhaps. But, okay, look, we obviously will do the preview of that match down the track. But I hope that Chelsea don't slip up here. We need to smash them next weekend. Every team out there, Watford, for God's sake, have gone out there and smashed Man United. So we need to do the needful and take care of business next weekend and make sure that it's not one of those bounce back that Man United have you bounce back the week after, mate? I don't really care. Just bounce back the week after. Just next weekend, do the needful and just be normal and get slapped by us. You deserve to be slapped. You need to be slapped. So just
hopefully
stick with the program.
Don't appoint the replacement. Yep, exactly. As long as they don't appoint a replacement, if Michael Carrick's in the dugout, then honestly, I hope it doesn't come back to bite me. But if Michael Carrick's in that dugout there, then honestly, we should easily be beating them. Like the 4-0 under Conte. It should be a scoreline like that.
As long as it's not Duncan Ferguson in the dugout, then we should be all right. Amir, let's talk about Chelsea Football Club right now. Let's start from the beginning. We've got a few players that I want to talk to you about. They looked really good. A few players probably didn't. From the top, international break, Amir. I'm always a bit weary off the back of international breaks. Last one, Brentford. Brentford probably deserved to win. The one before that, Aston Villa. We got quite lucky in that game as well. This game, Amir, we came out with the smoke. We looked so sharp from minute one. As soon as the whistle went, they were just like buzzing. We were all over them, pressing, counter-pressing. Looked so good on the ball. Passing was neat. Jorginho, some clip balls over the top. He could have Chilwell in the first third minute or fourth minute. Nice ball from Jorginho, then another one for Kante. But before we get into some player analysis, what do you make of our attitude, man? Were you like, wow, I like this. These guys are serious. We're in a title chase.
Yeah, I think so. Definitely. Our past few visits to King Power haven't been so great. I don't even remember I think the last time we did win there was probably 16-17, right? I don't think we've won at the King Power.
Yeah, we haven't won for a while. You're right.
Exactly. So I think that was, very great to see. First of all, I was delighted to see the away kit finally in use.
By the way, what do you think about that? I loved it. I loved the yellow.
It's good. I like the yellow. It's just a little too bright for my liking personally.
Looking very Dortmund yesterday.
I mean, it actually did look like that, didn't it? It had the black lines on it as well.
It did.
I think great to see some change at least, and then the way we came out yesterday with all guns blazing, I think it was absolutely incredible. I did not expect us to do that. I mean, and we carried that out throughout the game as well. Usually we see Chelsea going all out in the first 5-10 minutes, and then later on sort of sitting back and giving the opposition some
carried it for the whole match.
We carried it for the whole match as well. So I think, even in the last, once we were 3-0 up as well, I remember Chilwell just driving forward and Ngolo Kante getting in the box. And I think it was just, an incredible performance all around. And I think we were helped by the fact that most of our players actually were benched, even for although they did travel for their international duties. I think they were benched. And I think they had 2 games, right? The past couple of international breaks, there were 3 games in the space of a week.
This time 2.
Yeah. So I think that would have slightly helped them as well.
Because they all returned back nicely on time. Do you know what I
mean? Exactly. And Thiago Silva started, actually. I was so certain that he wouldn't. So
I was surprised, actually. Yeah.
Exactly. So I think that it was a very good performance, and a lot of factors to consider, but definitely one of our best performances of the season so far. I think that was incredible, especially this was the first game back since Pochettino said that we play defensive football, and If
Here's
that is
another.
defensive football, then I don't know what to
What's
say to
wrong
you.
with these managers, Amir? What are they like? Honestly, I have to question. What are they smoking? What are you smoking? Because you have Paul Scholes still a few weeks ago saying that Chelsea's defense is not as good as Man United's, and since he said that, Man United have conceded more than they've scored, and we've not conceded anything. So I don't know what he's on. And then Pochettino saying we play defensive football. Like, we are literally balling out. The only thing I'd say is we're definitely not playing defensive football. We're not being clinical enough. We should be winning 5-6-0. Even yesterday against Leicester, we should have had 6 perhaps. I mean, Ziyech came off the bench and could have had a hat trick of assists. Like, that's how devastating it was. But we'll talk about all of that. Strip Bear, thank you so much for the super chat. Honestly, you've been a massive, massive supporter of the channel, and all the super chat people that donate to the channel. Honestly, appreciate it a lot. This is how we are able to send people like Jonathan and Taryn to matches at Stamford Bridge and even away. Do stick around post this particular stream. There will be a vlog, which the boys Taryn and Jonathan did yesterday. And this stream will directly take you to the premiere of that particular vlog. So all of the contribution you guys are making, honestly, it's going to further more content development. So thank you so much, each and every one of you guys. But yeah, as a few people said, we look like Dortmund. We had a couple of ex-Dortmund players. Pulisic was playing for us, who was a Dortmund player, and there's rumors that Ziyech perhaps could be a Dortmund player. So yeah, we kind of started to look a little bit like Dortmund anyway. But I mean, let's now talk about a few key player performances. I want to call out a couple of players. I mean, look, naturally, your Rudiger and Silva, they're always great. So we will praise them, but I just want to keep them on the side for this time being. Trevoh Chalobah, I mean, entire match, I'm starting to think he will. Well, I think there's a transition happening. I don't know whether you're noticing or not. I think there is a transition happening where perhaps we're moving away from Aspie in the RCB. Chalobah is slowly taking that position. And in fact, I don't even recall Aspie playing in RCB this season that much. I think he's played as a right wing back. And I'm starting to think he's probably more of a rotational player for Reece James now as a right wing back. And in the RCB, it's probably going to be Christensen and Chalobah. But going back to Chalobah, Mia, entire match defensively solid. Probably second half, just there was a Vardy header where he probably should have stayed a bit closer to Vardy, and I think Vardy hit it over the top. But that ball to Ziyech, to release Ziyech in the second half, and then Ziyech cuts back in, dribbles, cuts back in, puts that ball for Pulisic, and then Pulisic ends up scoring. And there were other balls from deep, like his distribution for Chalobah. There was another one, I think he sent it long, and Chilwell was inside the box. Chilwell was playing false 9 at one stage. I mean, Amir, how good is Chalobah? What a revelation this has been for us this season.
Yeah, I think Trevoh Chalobah is incredible. I think he had a decent loan spell, and I don't think even the hardcore Cobham enthusiasts wouldn't have imagined Trevoh Chalobah would have been this good and would have fit in so flawlessly. Yeah. So I think he's been absolutely incredible, and like you said, right, he's fit in like a glove, and honestly, that's very good to see.
He's playing like an experienced campaigner, someone who's played for like years and years.
Exactly. And he has that defensive awareness about him, doesn't he? And that's so good to see at such a young age. So I think, phenomenal stuff from Trevoh Chalobah. And you could see that he was, improving as time went on. And now he's got the ball progression in him as well, right? Throughout the season, you could see he had the defensive ability as always, but then you can see clear improvement in the ball progression, right? The past couple of games.
Underrated, isn't he, with the ball? So underrated.
He is, and he drove into midfield 2 or 3 times yesterday. I'm pretty
sure. like Rudiger, driving through the right side.
Yep, exactly. So I think that was incredible to see, and I think that's one of the reasons why we were able to play such a high line, right? I think it's because Trevoh Chalobah also, every time Coutinho or Kante were marked, and you could, for some reason, Leicester kept dropping off yesterday. I remember even for the Ngolo Kante goal as well. So every time Leicester dropped off, but they still marked Kante and Jorginho, right? And then there was so much space and there was no one on Chalobah. So instead of making a useless pass backwards or trying to pick out someone who was marked, he ran forward himself until a Leicester player came on him, and then he released the ball to the free player. So I think that was incredible. These small bits, they're so underrated, right? And keeping the ball as well under pressure, these small things, I think that's why meticulous coaches like Tuchel, like Klopp, like Pep Guardiola, like Ten Hag are in such demand at the moment, because that's these little things make huge differences in games.
Bang on, bro. Bang on.
And Chalobah's the prime example of that. He's improved as the season's gone on. He's signed a new long-term contract. He's definitely here to stay. I think as long as we're continuing this system, Chalobah has probably been one of our most influential players. And, let's face it, Thiago Silva, as good as he is, he can't continue forever. He can't even play 2-3 games a week. So I think eventually, Christensen will move on to the middle. And I think Trevoh Chalobah's got that right centre-back spot nailed on. Has to be.
I have to agree with you. This is the transition that's happening. And a lot of Chelsea fans, we do need to realize there is a transition happening. But having said that, I still want Silva. And I think the word is Silva wants to stick around for another season. World Cup coming up. He wants to still stay fit. In fact, my man, honestly, if Silva continues like this, who's to say why not another season after that? It's all dependent on your determination. If you do want to carry on, can you still be bothered to come to training and train all that years? Do you know what I mean? Look at Zlatan Ibrahimovic for AC Milan. So a lot of people are saying he's probably going to play till he's 45, 50. Who knows? It all comes down to how you maintain your physique and whether you can be bothered still to go to training and whatnot. We're going to talk about a few other players now. And similarly with Azpilicueta, I want him to still stick around. And I hope he's humble enough to understand that I've played at the club for, nearly 10 years, more than 10 years probably, or coming up to 10 years, I think 2012 when he came in. I hope he's humble enough to say that, look, I'm okay to be a rotational player now, but I still want to be a big figurehead in the club. He's the club captain, no doubt about that, and he's a legend. Absolutely no doubt about that. So I hope he sticks around. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got nearly 100 live right now. Smash the like button. Get the likes up to well over 50. It'd be great to get 100 likes for the stream. You guys know the drill and the target for every stream. You guys have been loving the streams all along. So please smash the like button. Get the likes up to 100. Let's get to 50 straight away. There's only 15 away now. Well, that was a good jump. There's only 7 away now for 50 likes. So let's get the 50 likes straight away, and then we push to 100. And check out Amir and his socials in the description, guys. Please, guys, honestly, I'm begging you guys, go and follow Amir's channel. They make some decent content. I love their reaction videos in recent times. They do all these strange little bits and pieces where they react to certain things, and it's really, really good. So do check that out when you do get that opportunity. Amir, you talked about N'Golo Kante. Let's talk a little bit about him. Jorginho for me was phenomenal, but that's not a surprise for me. And I know Kante being phenomenal is not a surprise either, but I specifically want to call out Kante's performance. Jorginho was fantastic, no doubt about that. Immense in midfield, the way he controlled it, interceptions. But Kante, Amir, I said it in the preview, these are the games I want N'Golo Kante, where the opposition has that ability to perhaps use their pace with Harvey Barnes, Vardy, their robust midfield as well. And I want a player like Kante in midfield to negate all of that issues. And he did exactly that. Broke down play whenever they got that, opportunity, Leicester, which was very rare. But with the ball, drove into their midfield several times. And literally, as you said, they were falling back because they don't expect Kante to drive with the ball. So they're like, well, we'll just cut out all his passing lanes and we'll see what the man has to, do. And the man just takes it on himself, lifts up his left foot and, gives it a crack. I don't think anyone expected a shot. I was in awe in the watch. I was like, was that Kante? I was asking Ishan. I was like, did that Kante just have a long shot over there? And I don't even think Schmeichel was Schmeichel was actually going to his right.
Yeah.
And then the left foot shot came in and he's like, that's a bit against the script, isn't it? Like, that was not meant to happen. Amir, how special is N'Golo Kante? And the fact that we are now probably going to have to manage his time down the track so that we get the longevity out of him. There's just, I just can't picture like another Kante for us again. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know there's quite a few new youngsters coming up and up and coming youngsters, but this guy's going to be missed the day when he leaves one day, right?
Yeah, definitely. And he's probably going to go down as one of our best midfielders, especially if this era. I think I just saw a comment there. Yeah, exactly. I think N'Golo Kante, the way that he's played, I mean, although he hasn't been here for too long, I think 6 years, probably. I think 6 years. No.
Conte, right? Conte first
Yeah,
season.
so that's 5 years. That's just 5 years.
Sixth season, I think, right?
Yeah.
2015, 16. Yeah,
He joined
16,
16, 17. He joined at the start of the 16, 17.
Sorry.
season.
Yeah, Conte. Yep.
Yeah, so it's been 5.5 years, so it's not even been that long, but he's made just such an impact, right? And I think he's been incredible this season. I mean, he hasn't been that incredible this season. I mean, the last match was phenomenal, right? And this was, this is the peak Kante performance, right? I think this is what we were used to watching regularly, in 16, 17, 17, 18.
You're right. This was the classic Kante performance.
Exactly. Yeah. And past couple of years, although we have seen it at times, don't get me wrong, but it's not been on that week in, week out basis. Even this season, right? We're going to have to manage his time. And I think, we do have to manage his time going into the future as well. But if he plays one in every 3 games and then drops such a performance in that one game, then I absolutely don't see any reason why we should have a problem.
Bro, keep playing the big games and ball out and just ball out. I've got no issues. Exactly. Let others play the Burnleys and the Watfords and all of them. I've got no issues with that.
Exactly. So I think every time he steps up and puts in a performance like that, I think we're just reminded of how good a player N'Golo Kante really is. And to shoot with his left foot from outside the box against his former club
Audacious, bro. How dare you, Kante? How dare you?
It was incredible, and I just think there's just no way anyone can hate this man. He's such a humble gentleman, and even the Leicester fans, they were booing Chilwell every time Chilwell touched the ball, but they didn't boo Kante when he scored or when he had the ball. So
that's when you've got the utter respect, huh?
Yeah, exactly. So I think we're truly blessed to have had him for such a long period of time, and hopefully we can manage his time. And I think it's gonna definitely hurt when it's time to say goodbye, because yesterday just reminded me of what peak Kante can do. I think past couple of both of us were guilty of it too, weren't we, when he did that midfielders list, the future midfielders list. And you look at Kante playing like that and you go, how can you exclude that man even in the future, right? It's going to be so hard to replace him, honestly.
Nah, you're right, Amir, man. It's going to be difficult, but look, let's enjoy the bits and pieces that he's giving to us. I hope he stays fit. We are managing his time, which is right. We should be managing his time because he is picking up those injuries on a regular basis. And I'm okay with that. I don't need N'Golo Kante to play every game. I really don't. I need him to play the big games against big oppositions and really put them on the squad. So I'm happy with that. This commentary from thank you so much. I feel stupid trying to limit Kante to be a DM over the last few seasons. He has so much ability. I mean, just quickly on this before we move on to the next player. To all the fans, to all the managers, to all the pundits that believed N'Golo Kante is a sitter, they genuinely believed, Amir, N'Golo Kante is a DM. He sits deep. He shouldn't be bombing up. Yesterday's transcript is something that every pundit out there needs to see, every manager out there needs to see. I look back at Maurizio Sarri, and when he was talking about N'Golo Kante, that he's a box-to-box, he's not a sitter. Gianfranco Zola also saying, N'Golo does not like to be penciled down. He wants to run. Thomas Tuchel saying, it's like clipping his wings. He wants to fly. Yet we had fans during Lampard era saying, no, Kante is a DM. Even Lamps, most times in his first season used Kante as a box-to-box. Only later on in the first season where he used him as a DM, where he wanted to play as a attacking
4-3-3. I think that's when we tried.
Kante's just not that type. I mean, he looked so out of sorts against West Ham as a lone DM when Ziyech and Declan Rice was just all over him. But Amir, what do you have to say about that? The fact that to all those people that thought Kante was just a sitter.
I think he never was. I don't know from where this notion comes. Even in his Leicester days, right, when he won the league with Leicester, Drinkwater was the guy who stayed back, and it was N'Golo Kante who had the free roam. So I honestly don't get their logic, because at one point they say that he is a DM, and then on the next point the same pundits go out and say that he covers every blade of grass. So you can't be a sitter if you cover every blade of grass on the pitch, honestly. So I don't know what their
These pundits,
analysis is.
They just make up stuff on the way, like on the run, they just make it up.
Yeah, especially Jermaine Jenas. I think he's like the worst pundit I've ever seen, honestly. But
I think they just bring him on for the laughs and giggles. They really do. Do you know what I mean? Honestly, you're going to get the laughs.
Yeah, exactly. So I think, I think it's been firmly quashed. I think, especially in our fan base, at least, that he's not a lone sitter. And the issue was he always played in a pivot, right? Which is why people sort of assumed that that's his position. But if you play in a 4-3-3, then he's not going to be the deepest of the three. So I think it makes more sense to play him box to box, right? So I think that's what some people were missing. But yeah, I think classic performance yesterday. He is a box to box midfielder, and actually, I think, sort of that stemmed from, I remember Claude Makelele saying that as you get older, this style of play it's going to get harder and harder to maintain for you. He said that to N'Golo Kante, I think, which is why some people suggested shifting him to being a sitter. But I think, like we discussed earlier, play one game a week, but drop that performance once a week, and we're okay, man. We're okay. So, yeah, that's all I have to say on N'Golo Kante. Brilliant player. One of our best of this generation.
100%. Play once a week and smash the opposition like you did to Leicester. I will take that every day of the week. If you want to do that for the next 3 seasons, I will take that. I will take that, and I will pay you premium money for that. No worries at all. This particular comment from Prashant is very, very significant as well. Means Gilmour yesterday played like Kante role. He has the ability. Look, I think a lot of people have said Gilmour is an 8 more than a DM. And this is what Amir was saying as well last week when we did the future midfield conversation. And we've seen Billy Gilmour has that ability to drive forward as well. He does not want to just be a sitter. I mean, he has the ability to do that, but I think that's limiting him and his talent. I'm so glad he got back into the team. Dean Smith, new manager, win for Norwich straight away. And Gilmour, assist, winning goal as well, the winner. He got the assist. So let's see what Gilmour does. And I believe he ended up being the man of the match as well, the Norwich. So this boy, it's just deals with man of the match. I love this. He plays, and it's like, can you imagine? He, team talk, or the coach is talking to him, and he just tells, look, whenever I play, I just want to give man of the match performances. That's it. Like, it's amazing, this particular player. The determination he has. Scotland, I mean, almost every game Scotland has been playing, pretty much he's been the man of the match. Incredible. Amir, let's talk about the next particular player. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got nearly 200 live right now. Smash the like button. Easily we can get to 100 straight away. You guys are going to love this conversation I'm having with Amir. Obviously, we're missing Kishan. He's got some, uni commitments and whatnot. So he'll hopefully will be back next week. We'll get the trio back for the Chelsea news segment. But smash the like button, get the likes up to 100 straight away. And also make sure you stick around post the stream. We've got yesterday's vlog. Jonathan and Taryn obviously were at King Power Stadium. Amazing time for them. And they spoke to quite a few people, especially Leicester fan TV, particular individual from there. They spoke to him about the match as well. And make sure you stick around, because this stream will just lead on to that premiere. So don't go anywhere. But get those likes up to 100 straight away. Check out Amir and his socials in the description. Amir, let's talk about, so we talked about Kante. Let's talk about Ziyech and Pulisic, the impact. I have to talk about Hakim Ziyech. It's my channel. We need to talk about Hakim Ziyech.
The second he assisted that, I sent the message in our group chat, didn't I?
I saw.
I knew it.
Bro, I was buzzing in the watch along. I was so happy. I was telling Ishan that I want to take my shirt off. I want to celebrate. I know he didn't score, but his assist. Let's talk about both Ziyech and Pulisic. First of all, very, very good substitution from Thomas Tuchel. Let's start with Pulisic first. This man, oh my God. After the injury has, he's come back. the intensity and the determination. He comes off the bench and he's just running, he's buzzing, the energy. He's so determined. I think Amir, it's finally hit him that I have to make something out of my career because it's going away. I'm getting injured on a regular basis. I need to make sure that I lock it down. I need to capitalize right now when I'm fit. Hopefully I stay fit. Man scored a clutch goal for USA against Mexico as well, came off the bench, boom, header. Then yesterday came off the bench, Ziyech put him through, should have got that first goal. It wasn't on target, but it is what it is. Then similar opportunity happened again. This time he didn't miss. Amir, let's talk about Christian Pulisic. I tweeted out just a moment ago, if he, please God, if he stays fit for the rest of the season, I think he's going to be instrumental for our title race. He's going to be so instrumental. What's your thoughts on Christian Pulisic?
I think you summed it up. He's making such a big impact, and even the first game of the season he scored against Crystal Palace. So I think he knows that this is a career-defining season for him, especially at Chelsea. I think if he wants to make it here, then he has to stay fit and perform on a regular basis. Because considering how well Hudson-Odoi has been playing the past couple of games as well, that's not going to help Pulisic's ambitions either. So I think he knows that maybe I might not be as creative as Hudson-Odoi, maybe, but then I can still rack up the goals and assists, and I can still dribble brilliantly, which I know that I have in my locker. So I think Christian Pulisic, big up to him. He played through the middle yesterday, I think. That's what everyone's mentioning.
Look at this commentary from Kabina, Pulisic as false nine. Let's talk a little bit about that, Amir. I like that, man. I liked him in the middle. He was making some darting runs, brilliant movement, and he was causing a lot of havoc. I mean, do you like the look about this? Would you experiment this a little bit, knowing that Havertz has been a bit on and off with his form?
I think he was good at, and some of the finishes, I think a lot of people were saying earlier as well, no one apart from Lukaku has that poacher's mentality in our team. And I don't even think Werner's is as good as Pulisic's is. So I think,
come on, bro.
I think Pulisic, fair play to him for getting in those spots. But I think, even though we were all over them, I think it did sort of look like, Leicester had given up at that point. And I think he was just brought on to sort of, use his space effectively. So I think that Pulisic, as good as he was yesterday, I think when you start a game, right, at when it's level pegging, I still think Pulisic lacks that movement that you could see Havertz, although a lot of people are saying that he had a poor game yesterday. I thought he was actually pretty decent. He didn't get on the end of any of the scoring chances.
This is what I thought about Havertz. I think everything leading to the final third, so say for example, collecting the ball, controlling it, turning the defenders, running, driving, perfect.
Yeah.
When he got the ball in the final third, that's where he lacked the clinicality, whether to make a key pass, whether to shoot, even when he shot, shooting technique, bit out of whack. That's where the issue is with Havertz. Everything preluding that moment is fine.
Yeah.
But you get judged on your final third because you're an attacking player. That's where my issue is, and I don't think he's making that impact there. And I don't want to be too harsh. I really liked what Thomas Tuchel said the other day, and you tweeted that. You can't be pulling the grass to make it grow faster. I get that. That's completely understandable. But, I mean, I don't think Lukaku is going to be fit for Juve yet. I think he may be fit for Man United, maybe off the bench. Do you go with Havertz to start? I completely understand what you're saying. Pulisic, when he starts, when the defenders are all fresh, it could be a different... You need a different type of energy. It's great when you come off the bench and the defenders are tired, they've been running around all the time, and you're creating a havoc, which is fantastic. Would you give him an opportunity perhaps in the middle against Juve? Perhaps he could... Some of those old defenders that Juve have, no disrespect, they're fantastic, but could he do something?
No, definitely not. And I'm sorry to be so, upfront about it. But I think you look at the situation that UA are coming to Stamford Bridge at, right? They've won 1-0 away and they're on top of the group. And as long as they avoid defeat against us, they're going to be on top of the group as long as they were their last game. And we saw how they played at home, right? In front of their own fans, they sat back for the entirety of the game and just hoofed it to Chiesa, hoping he does something, and they're going to sit even deeper when they're away from home. And I think it's not, down to their play. I'm not criticizing them or anything. That's just how Allegri plays. And that's how Allegri is being forced to play, because the players that Juve have are just not that top quality that Juve once used to have. So I'm not blaming them per se, but they're going to come here for a point. And they're going to come here to avoid defeat. And I just don't think that Pulisic would be the best effect starting this game. I still think he would be a better option off the bench. But let's see. I think Hudson-Odoi came off the 60th minute mark, right, against Leicester. So I think he might be in the race.
Hudson-Odoi played the whole match.
Did he?
Mason Mount
Oh, yeah,
Havertz came
Havertz.
on.
Oh, yeah. So I think Havertz
Hudson-Odoi was
is
very
gonna
good.
start false nine.
In fact,
Yeah. So I think probably Pulisic still might get the start in that game. I think but then like you said, right, Hudson-Odoi played the full 90, so I'm guessing Hudson-Odoi misses out in the starting lineup for Juventus. But it's
I would
going to be
hate it. I
interesting
want
to see.
Hudson-Odoi to continue on. I mean,
Yep.
fatigue shouldn't be an issue. I mean, these guys were, Hudson-Odoi didn't go on international break, so he should be fresh. He should be fresh, and I want him to start against Juve. This particular comment from Shubhajyoti Roy, thanks so much. Cho plus Ron plus Pully, I would like to see that. I really would. Mason Mount, he's got some competition, stiff competition, but I believe Mason is a particular player that rises when things get difficult. He rises above the rest, so I'm not worried about that one bit. Amir, let's talk about Hakim Ziyech. I mean, got so much flack from the Chelsea fan base, even from me. I love the man. It hurts me when I talk about him in a negative way. I don't want to talk. I go and wash my mouth. Seriously. I'm sorry, Hakim. I didn't want to do that. But if we want to be honest, he hasn't been that great. And you know what? Kudos to Thomas Tuchel to consistently backing him in the press conference saying, guys, you keep asking me the same question, and I keep telling you, that injury affected him. He has not been free. Even though we sat here, Mia, and even with Kishan when he was around, and we, Kishan, he always laughs about Hakim Ziyech, and he says, man, you've got a shoulder injury, you should still be able to pass. I get that. and sometimes, maybe that's how we think, but as a player, we don't know what's in his mind. He probably feels a bit, strange with his shoulder. But Amir, the way he came off the bench yesterday, man on fire. It's like he heard what Tuchel wanted. What, Gaffer? Watch what I'm going to do right now. He pressed well. Key pass. He could have had a hat-trick of passes. Pulisic, 2 of them. Reece James, that pass that he laid off and Reece scored, which ended up being an offside. So there would have been 3 assists easy. He looked immense. I mean, I hope he can carry this on and build on this reference now, because we've seen in preseason what he's capable of up until he got injured. He was on some different smoke at that stage. Amir, I know there's a lot of rumors about Ziyech, January loan, which Matt Law categorically denied that Chelsea doesn't want him to let him go. I think Thomas Tuchel wants to keep him as well. There's rumors in summer that he could possibly go as well. There was rumors last summer. What's your thoughts on Hakim Ziyech, man?
I think yesterday proved that he does have it in his locker, right? He still does. And he's not a lost cause, as people were saying. So I think, selling him in January, I think that's stupidity. I don't think Chelsea would even entertain, especially on a loan deal. There's just no way we're going to do it. I think,
especially when we're chasing for the title as well. You need every type of player.
You do. And Ziyech does provide something different, which none of our other players have. So I think keeping Ziyech around is a no-brainer. And, we had just a couple of injuries to our strikers, and you could suddenly feel, how thin our attacking sort of, depth is, right? I mean, I know that when you make a full out-and-out lineup, you have like 2 or 3 players for every position. But Lukaku and Werner got injured, right, last time around, and you could see how much we struggled to replace all of them together. So I think, considering all of that, I think keeping Ziyech at least till the end of the season is a no-brainer. And I just think that, as much as he's a great player, I just think that we've got to stop. I mean, this is being the devil's advocate, right? Don't kick me out of the channel for this one. But
I might have to cancel you, bro, after this. Watch what you say.
But, realistically, we've got to stop treating him like he's a young talent that's going to bloom later on in his career, right? This is supposed to be his prime. So, I mean, I'm not denying that yesterday he was fantastic off the bench, but the younger players, the younger attackers look up to him and expect him to perform at that level week in, week out. And he just hasn't done that so far, but I'm hoping he can build on that performance and sort of he just needs a couple of, 2 or 3 game run where, he just absolutely, balls out of the park. And then after that, I think he's definitely, once he gets his confidence back, I think that's when things will start looking
He's
good.
such a confidence player, isn't he? He's such a confidence player. I mean, he's not one of those players that, like, let's say like a Timo Werner. When his confidence is down, Timo Werner, he still keeps going, keeps working hard. Different type of sort of mentality. Whereas Ziyech, such a confidence player. He needs that confidence. He needs the fan base to just keep loving him. Different personalities, different sort of characters. But look, I hope he can work from this particular reference. I hope he features somewhat against Juve and can do a bit of a madness over there. And then we can see what goes on after that. I just hope he doesn't pick up another injury, because once that happens, the man just gets destroyed again. So let's not hope for that. Ladies and gentlemen, smash the like button. We're only 30 away from 100 likes. 100 likes for the stream will be amazing, achievement. We've got well over 150 people still live. So get those likes up to 100 straight away. Also participate in the poll. We've got the poll, which is, are you worried about Man United next weekend? Possible new manager bounce. So far, we've had 181 votes, and 55% of you guys are saying no, they're still rubbish. So please make sure you participate on that particular poll. And also make sure you stick around after this stream, because we will go straight to the premiere of the vlog. So all of you guys stick around. The vlog for yesterday's game is going to be epic. This particular stream will literally redirect you to the premiere of that vlog. So make sure you stick around for that. Amir, a couple of more things before we sort of slowly start wrapping things up. Outlook for the upcoming matches. We've got Juve coming up. We've got Man United coming up. Obviously, bumper sort of situation happening in December. How are you feeling as a Chelsea fan? Your thoughts, your feelings, we would like to know.
I think off the back of that Leicester performance, extremely confident, and that's not a good thing, because every time I'm confident, the exact opposite always seems to happen. Every time, literally the only games that I've gone into thinking, okay, we can win this game, we've ended up losing those games or dropping points. So I think it's never a good sign that I'm confident. But unfortunately, on the back of that performance, I think we've just broken so many jinxes in that one game, right? First game off the international break, the King Power jinx, the Awakened jinx, everything. And I think we just blew them out of the park absolutely in that game. So it fills me with confidence. And, usually it's around this time that our season starts crumbling away. I mean, if it does. So fingers crossed that we can, hopefully avoid such a situation. And I have faith in Tuchel, I think.
Do you think the team and also Thomas Tuchel would have seen the precedents of previous seasons, that this is the portion where you guys generally falter? Do you reckon they would gather together and go, boys, let's not do that again? Because personally, for me, Amir, if we can manage to navigate through the December period, get as many wins as possible, turn the losses into draws into wins, and come out of December and the Premier League, I think then we are set to, really put on a big show and win the title. I mean, is that how you're feeling as well, that this is the do or die situation coming up right now? We stuffed this up like previous seasons, as we've mentioned. We could possibly look at another one of those top 4 races again. Do you know what I mean? Is that how you feel as well?
Yeah, I think so. I think being around Christmas time, that's the most important. I think, the Christmas table looks so similar to how the end of the season table is going to look, usually, more or less. That's when the title race is, basically you can sort of differentiate between actual contenders and pretenders. I think that's how I like to call it. So I think it's this period where we've got to be very careful, especially, around the New Year's and stuff. I know AFCON is another important thing. So,
but luckily we only have Mendy.
Yeah, Liverpool's season could be derailed if they lose Salah and Mane. So I think they're going to be trying everything.
Three goals between them yesterday, right? Against Arsenal. 2 from Sadio Mane, 1 from Salah. Yeah, that's incredible, man. Yeah.
So I think, that could actually determine the Premier League title race. And I think, so there's a lot of factors to consider, but I still think that, I think if we can navigate out of this December period, I mean, even if we're not top of the table, right? If we're around the top, like just 1 point off, 2 points off the top, I think that's when we sort of feel secure. And I can't go into another top 4 race, man. I genuinely can't. It's been, the Sarri season. First off, it was Conte's second season where we eventually lost out. And then after that, it was Sarri's season where we secured it because Brighton beat Arsenal and stuff like that. And then after that, we had Lampard's first season where we sealed it because of Mount's free kicks against Wolves on the last day of the season. And then last season, we again under Tuchel, we had, although we did lose to Aston Villa. So of all the teams, Spurs helping us, exactly. Yep. So I think I can't go into another season of that. And honestly, I don't see that happening because I think the gap between Chelsea, Manchester United, and Chelsea, Manchester City, and Liverpool is so much bigger than the rest of them. So I can't see us struggling for that. But I think there has to be some sort of improvement, and I think there will be. I think we might not win the title straight away, but as long as we're in the mix, I think I'm more than happy come Christmas and New Year's.
Do you feel this time around, Amir, that the squad is like yesterday was the first game of the season where I felt we played so well. Do you feel this time around, like previous seasons, I felt, we look good, but there was always a bit of weakness here and there. But this time around, I feel like it seems like a complete team. Like I know we're not smashing goals up front as much as we'd like to. I know we're scoring 3 goals, and yesterday with defenders scoring goals as well. Kante as a sort of, from midfield, Rudiger as well. Pulisic was the only attacker that scored. But do you feel overall we have a solid squad who can still develop a lot more? We haven't seen the best of it yet. Is that something that gives you a bit of a good feel that, there's something good happening this season?
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, right? I still want to see Pulisic and Lukaku play together. We still haven't seen that. I think they would just go so well. And I think, so like you said, there's a lot of things that we have. There's a lot of squad depth and each of the players offer something different, right? So even if things aren't going well for us, we have the luxury, which I think Manchester United actually don't. I think if things aren't going well and a couple of players aren't doing their best, we have other players who are capable to step in and put in a shift. Although they might not be as good as these guys, they can still put in a decent shift and beat some other probably some of the lower teams. So I think we have that in our locker, and I think Tuchel's gonna, he's the man who likes to tinker, and he's gonna take care of the squad. I think we have a game every 3 days, right, in that period. So I think it's really difficult to maintain the squad as well, and I think Tuchel's a master of that. So I think he's gonna do that really well. As long as we avoid too many key injuries, I think we should be fine, and hopefully we have learned from the past, like you said. But the issue is in the past when things started going tough, there was no one to we lacked that leadership, we lacked that mentality in the dressing rooms.
And if you think about last season, Amir, it was the Everton game. Leeds, we won. We ran our backsides off. And then against Everton just applied the meanest, lowest block I've ever seen in my life. And, they got that goal from the penalty. And from there, they just didn't look back. After that, you're right. The Wolves game, we lost as well, right at the end. Then Arsenal, just no leadership. But I think now a lot of leaders in the pitch, even some young players that are growing up and becoming leaders as well.
Yeah, exactly. So I think a lot of leaders in the dressing room. So I don't think that's going to happen this time around. I mean, there might be a couple of games which ideally, if it was at any other time in the season, we would have expected us to win. But there will be a couple of games that we drop points. I mean, we're not going to win every game from now until the end of December. So I think that is obvious. I think the West Ham away game is one where I can definitely see us having some.
West Ham lost against Wolves yesterday, by the way. I mean,
yeah, but I think at home they're still a different team. I think honestly, in front of their own fans, I think they really put their heart and soul into it. So I think a lot of variables to consider, like you said. So I think it's going to be interesting to see. But I just hope that our players rise up to the challenge, and I really wish that we can be in and around the top come Christmas or New Year's, and that's when we'll start believing.
100% right, Amir. You're right. I mean, this is what I've been sort of saying to myself as well, that hopefully the players sit down, the managers sit down, and start believing that there could be something here. Let's stay focused as much as possible. Every game, take a game by game and work out how to beat the opposition, How can we beat this opposition? How are we going to attack them? Which side are we going to attack them? Which particular players are we going to, try and catch them out on, and then work on that. Footy Taha, I think there was a comment from Murad who was saying that Ziyech and Mendy are going to be in AFCON, but I don't think Ziyech is going to be in AFCON because he's not getting picked by the Moroccan team. So I'm not really sure whether he's actually going to go. Murad's commented, the Moroccan managers don't like him that much, but he increases their chances to compete, so they need to reconsider. Yeah, look, whether they reconsider from now till when the AFCON starts, we'll see. But I think that issue is a bit of a foregone conclusion, unless they come to a bit of a compromise. But I think Ziyech, it's over. Something really bad happened between Ziyech and the Moroccan team and the manager over there. It had to do with the authority. I think Ziyech did not want to listen to the manager. I don't want to get into too much detail, but that's what a lot of people are saying, and obviously the manager not going to appreciate that, of course. Stripper, thank you so much for another super chat. Thank you so much always for supporting. Really, really appreciate, honestly. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got only 17 more likes for the stream to get 100 likes. Please, if you've enjoyed this, which I know you guys have in the live chat, it's been buzzing. Let's get the 17 likes for 100 likes for the stream, which will be an amazing achievement for this particular stream. So let's do that straight away. Check out Amir and his socials in the description. And as I said, please stick around. We've literally got about 7 more minutes until the premiere of yesterday's match day vlog from Taryn and Jonathan at Leicester. It was a really, really good vlog. I actually had a look at it now. It was an amazing vlog. Them traveling from London to Leicester, and then obviously the atmosphere inside the stadium, the jubilation when we scored. You don't want to miss out on that vlog. So do stick around, because this will literally take you to that particular premiere and the screen for that. So hang around for that. And meanwhile, as I said, only 10 more likes to hit before 100 likes. Let's do that. Amir, any upcoming content that we should look out for in your channel? You want to let the viewers know? We've got over 150 live.
Yeah, I think, first up, thanks a lot for having me on. I mean, we do this every week, but still, and thanks a lot for shouting out my channel. You do that like twice or thrice every stream. So
I love it, bro. I love your channel, honestly. What you guys do, honestly, it's mad. It's really good.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, man. So yeah, I mean, to everyone here, check it out. It's in the description. If you like, you can subscribe to our channels and tune into future streams. We do streams as well, apart from recorded videos. So a lot of interesting stuff coming out. We've got so many games coming up, right? So it's mainly going to be previews and review streams, but we're going to do watch-alongs as well. Even our watch-along was a big hit yesterday. Actually, we had I think 8,000 views on our watch-along yesterday.
Oh wow, nice.
So we will have watch-alongs. We'll have previews and reviews, and we, like Miz mentioned earlier as well, we do small reaction videos as well as and when, and it's not just Chelsea related. I mean, probably sometimes
those are gold.
Chelsea community.
Those are gold. Yeah,
it's sometimes Chelsea community. It's sometimes something else in football probably, but we do have these small reaction videos, and they seem to pique the viewers' interest. I think they get a lot of views, so we're going to continue doing those as well. But yeah, I think that's about it as of now. We're just going to keep on the grind, and hopefully we're at a good place come the end of the year.
Yeah, man. Honestly, kudos to you guys for the job that you guys are doing in your channel, and I sincerely hope that you guys do well. And as I said to my viewers, please go out and subscribe to Amir's channel and his crew over there. They're doing an amazing job. You might have seen Zvo Genius in the comments every now and then. He's always here in the live stream. So please give them the support. Only 5 more likes from 100 likes for now. And as I said, only 4 minutes away from the premiere. Stick around for the match vlog. Until next time, everyone. Hope you guys enjoyed this. See ya.